think we are back. I don't know if we are... How do I send a fucking... Shit. How do I... Here we go. Copy. I gotta go to shit. Talk to the audience, bro. We're on.
We're on?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to send a link out. Give everyone a story or something. Maybe I can get some of these people back.
Shit, I don't know. How about I read him a news story? Let's see what pops up on my Google News.
Yeah, give the people a story, bro. Come on, man.
Okay, yeah, you know. I just didn't want to tell everybody about how Macy's has tons of Black Friday worth deals on La Crusette, including Ina Garten's favorite Dutch oven. Or this guy, I don't know why this headline's a story. Rafe Spall, I don't know who that is, but he says, Madonna came up and started grinding me. A circle formed. That's it. Wants me to click on that to know more about it, and not gonna do it. Smuggling vessel in San Diego. Suspected smuggling vessel capsized. Says at least 2 dead, 23 hurt.
Yeah, I was just playing a piece of that video there for a second. Mask or no mask?
Mask? I wear mask.
Do you think they work?
I take their word for it that it does something, and it makes sense on a logical level that it would help mitigate the spread in public to a certain degree. But if it's a by nature spread through the aerosolized whatever, your mouth vapor and such, your breath vapor, yeah, I would think it helps a little. And I'm fine to wear a fucking mask if it's gonna help, whatever, save one old person. Is that virtue signaling?
I don't think so.
You know?
No. I don't think so at all. I think the mask is just. I think the debate of trying to say if it's real or not is stupid. I think if anything, the most important thing that we need to think of is that it's at least neighborly. It's just nice.
Right.
It's a nice thing to do.
Right.
If anything, it makes most people feel better. And yeah, I think like you're not going to stop all COVID, but it's going to stop the COVID that's attached to water molecules, which is probably most of the stuff that's coming out of your mouth anyway.
Right. And, you know.
And then if you wear a mask and social distance.
Yeah, you just try, you know. Get your vaccine. I got mine, you know, like, you know, fucking, let's try to fucking beat this fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know? It's pain in the ass.
I don't even know if anybody's, Oh, shit, 7 people are back. Well, damn, bro. Welcome back, guys. We fucking, we lost it for a second. That we're talking about masks and, before we were talking about
I got my mask right.
Ed and Moe. Hey, you know what though? I'm gonna tell you what. At first, I fucking hated the mask, Sean. I fucking hated it because it was fucking up my beard. Like,
it seems weird. The beard and mask thing seems weird.
Yeah, when you see the guys with the real big beard and then they got the little tiny fucking mask.
Yeah,
it's just like
it's always a little weird looking. It's a little like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems not as effective too. I mean, I don't think it is as effective to wear a mask when you have a big beard.
That's why I got a So at first I was wearing the mask and it was fucking up my beard. Like I was developing a bald spot right here. It was terrible, bro. It was terrible. And then I didn't realize. I thought it was the mask, and then I did research and I realized it wasn't the mask. It was that every time I took the mask off, I had to comb my beard. And combing it dry was pulling the hairs out. So at first I was mad at the mask. Then I realized, no, it's just My beard, if something touches it, it has to be brushed again because it like looks like shit.
But if you brush it dry, you're pulling all your hairs out. So you need to get some quality beard balm.
I already do that.
Check out the Public Enemy Public Store Eshaq's Beard Balm. It's great stuff. You're not going to get beard balm like this anywhere else. It's the Public Enemy podcast.
Yemeni,
sorry.
No. But then I ended up like going online and I was like, fucking, let me just get a bigger mask. They had like, and I found an excellent mask, dude. It was like, it when I wear it, it looks more effective. Because it actually wraps around under, and then you can like adjust it.
Yeah.
And it's also got like a great like neck thing, so when you take it off, it hangs, and then you don't have to like put it in your pocket or whatever. And bro, I found a hack for my beard. It makes my beard. It shapes my beard. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm that idiot driving around with a mask on.
Because it's
because when I get to my destination, it fucking like
your beard comes out pristine.
Pristine, bro.
Yeah. Very nice.
Isn't that crazy? It's like,
yeah.
I went from fuck these beards, I'm going bald. And then when I figured it out, I was like, oh shit. And then I found this one mask and I was like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah. You know, I have my own challenges with my glasses. Glasses are a challenge with the masks.
Because of the fog?
Yeah. But there's a certain way I have to like put it on just the right way so that I get the, I could demonstrate, I guess. I don't know. But like I get these parts, these sides, I get those under the lens. That way, you know, if I have them over, it's just going to fog right up. But if I get these, it's like a specific way I have to wear it.
That's really weird because usually when the fucking thing is under the lens, it'll fog the inside of the lens because the air will go up. No?
Yeah, but no, and I wear the glasses and I press them good against the face. And it presses the mask back against the face and locks the fog in.
How sad are we? This is where we're at right now, bro. Yeah, you know. Fucking mask hacks.
I mean, whatever.
Mask hacks.
People are into pathetic things all the time. Way more pathetic than PPE.
Like
and
girls,
PPE fashion discussions is fine.
Like fucking girls fucking drawing on their eyebrows. That's fucking pathetic. It's ruining my dating life right now, bro.
It's not just girls. Goes across gender. There's all sorts of
okay, we're going to play the gender thing now.
Well, I'm just saying. Probably every gender, there are people who draw on their eyebrows.
They're getting too creative with it. You don't give a shit.
I don't.
You're not out in these streets trying to date these girls, bro.
With the eyebrows?
It's like spreading like COVID. Like ever since the pandemic happened, more women had it because I think they had more time to stay at home and like watch tutorials. And then now they fucking all look like Goku. Fucking just fucking super sharp. Or sometimes they try to almost draw a unibrow. I've
been seeing lately the trend from what I've been observing with the young ladies is to feather the eyebrows and make them bushy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Arab women are now rejoicing, bro. Every Arab woman in the world is like, fucking finally! I could just let my shit fucking go, you know? For so long, the trend was like not having big bushy eyebrows or whatever.
Now you want it big and bushy and wild and strong.
Bro, there's this...
Everybody wants to be Frida Kahlo
Who?
You know, the Mexican artist, painter lady. Married to Diego Rivera, famous for having a unibrow. She did a lot of self-portraits.
Hold on. What's her name?
Frida Kahlo. Kahlo. Frida.
Frida. C-A? Oh, Kahlo.
K-A-H.
K-H. Kahlo. Hola. Her?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't see her picture, but yeah.
Of course. Holy shit, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
She had a major unibrow.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, no. What the fuck, bro? She's got a mustache, too. She looks like my dad. She looks like my dad whenever I got like a bad report card. Like he fucking look at me like that. Like, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. You're going to get your fucking ass beat for not knowing math. My dad would get mad. He'd be like, you don't know math? You fucking idiot. He'd get mad because he'd like, Arabs made math. I'm like, oh, shit. Now I got to fix this. Bro, her fucking eyebrows. Jesus. Let's see another picture. Yeah, see, I don't think I could. I don't think I could get like a blowjob from that. I would be distracted. One time I was hooking up with this girl who was taking too much steroids.
Yeah. Yeah. You're paranoid about like any masculine features popping up on a girl. You're
What do you mean?
like
Paranoid, bro.
I mean, I feel like you're like, oh no, she's got a unibrow and a mustache.
Oh no! Does she have a dick?
Right.
Does she have a dick?
Yeah, it seems like
This girl took so much steroids, she had a dick. Her clit was huge.
Okay.
Her clit became a penis.
All right. I guess it happens. I don't know.
It happens.
Heard of it.
I found out. I can confirm. I've collected the data. And
What'd you do with the data?
I fucked it. But I didn't. It was, yeah, I didn't like it because she was like, she was hot, but she had like Arnold Schwarzenegger's back, you know? So like when I turned her over,
She was really muscly on the back.
man, bro, like too much. Like manly. She took a lot of steroids.
Wow.
Yeah. So, unibrow. She didn't have a unibrow, but that was one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, I'm not that malleable when it comes to sex. Like I'm just like, there's parts of me that's kind of like, stay open-minded, and then I'll do it, and then I'm like, this was a mistake. You know? Why are you looking at me like that, bro?
Well, because I'm just thinking.
Why are you
I'm
thinking?
like when is it not a mistake for you? You know what I mean?
When is it not a mistake?
Yeah.
When is sex not a mistake?
Where's the line for it being a mistake and not a mistake?
Oh man, there's a lot of lines.
That's what I mean. There's like
There's a lot of lines. There's a lot of lines.
Yeah, there are.
There's a lot of lines where it's a mistake. Like one time when I was really young, man, it's like just out of the Marine Corps. I met this girl at the bar, and she was making out with this other girl, and I was like, threesome, you know, about to make this fucking shit happen. Mm-hmm. And let's get out of this lady's eyebrows. I got the eyebrows on the screen. And
Frida Kahlo's making you uncomfortable while you talk about your threesome memory.
Well, it didn't happen because the whole time I was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden the other girl left. And I was like, where's your friend? And she was like, she's not my friend. I didn't even know who she was. I was like, what the fuck? So the whole time I thought they were like together. So then I was just stuck with her. And then and then we went and tried to hook up, and it got really bad. It got bad. Like this is where a line, you know, it's just like she like proceeded to give me a blowjob, and then she started crying while doing it. You know what I'm saying? And then she started like.
That's where you go. That's where you just go to a diner.
It became
and you
therapy.
Have a sandwich, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
let's try to make this a better.
Bro, it was dark.
I don't know.
It was dark. She cried, and then all of a sudden she said, she was like really drunk, and then all of a sudden she was like, oh, my dad made me do this. And I was like, what the fuck?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Some people just way damaged, and then they just, I don't know why.
I don't know how you even got to that story, though. Like, I'm like shocked. I mean, because the story is shocking. And
it's fucking shocking.
But like, how did you even jump to that? Why did you just tell me that story?
I don't know. We were talking about, what's the line? Lines to cross.
Lines for when it's a mistake.
When it's a mistake. That was a line that showed up. It's like, oh, fuck, this is a mistake last minute. So steroids, no, not into girls with my dad's back. Ugh. You know, like big. Not into it. No. But I keep an open mind.
Right. Because, yeah. Just, like, you know, you should follow your spirit, right?
Even if it ends up being a mistake, yeah.
Well, your heart and your spirit drive you, probably, right? You know, like, or
do I even have a spirit? Do we have spirits?
It's an interesting question.
Yeah, but in the spirit of the spirits?
Yeah, spirit of freedom.
Yeah. Spirit of freedom. Oh, man. That was...
I've been thinking about that lately a little bit.
Oh, man, that character. We never did anything with that.
No, we did nothing with it. I lost the coat. There's no... But, yeah, it was a dumb sketch idea that you and I had because I had a really ridiculous leather fringe jacket with all the fringe hanging off the...
Yeah.
And I had like a wig, like a long wig, and I would wear like an American flag bandana.
And then you would do this dumb dance where you like gyrated your hips and you would go spirit of freedom.
Right.
And then the what do you call those things that hang off the fringe, right? Yeah. And it would just all be moving around.
Right.
And it was really funny, dude.
And the joke was like basically, yeah, like you could like the whole format of whatever sketch was going to be like, you know,
do whatever the fuck you want, spirit of freedom.
But it was basically somebody has to like try to enforce a rule somewhere of any kind. And then it would like be like whatever, like lightning would crash, and all of a sudden it would be like, you know, me in that fringe jacket,
with the long hair and the fringe jacket,
just doing the dance and being like, "Fuck that, spirit of freedom!" And like, do this, like, But I think about that now.
Like right now with that bit,
it's like, yeah. I mean, I feel like
it's even more so. Like if you did that bit, everyone's gonna call you a Republican.
Well, I would have been a mascot for Trump supporters, basically. They would have loved it.
Oh yeah,
like Trump would have had me to the White House in that fringe jacket.
Could you imagine?
You would have been like, "We got Sean McGettigan, the Spirit of Freedom guy. Yeah, we love him."
Yeah, he's a hardcore liberal, but just getting that Republican money.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. I might have done it even a little bit at some point.
I wouldn't.
Having kids.
I wouldn't even get mad at you, bro. I'd be like, hell yeah, do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I could use the money.
Get that money, bro.
Yeah. But that would be dark too. I mean, I would try to find a way to maybe turn it around too. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think earlier we were talking about Ed and Moe. But yeah, guys, Ed and Moe was fucking great. Like we really did have to get you and Bulldog to really become these characters, man. I think there's like this is I got one of. Let me cue up one of the. Wait a minute. Are we still broadcasting? Yes, we are. There we go. Okay. Let's cue up this video. Cheat codes. It's one of the first videos we did. Mm-hmm. This is one of the first concept videos. I gotta share the screen real quick. How come it's not doing it? Come on, cuz. Share screen. There we go. This is one of the first videos that we did to train you guys to be these bozos. And let's play it right now. This is one of the first videos. I think that when we were practicing in this basement of the house that I lived in. Remember? We'd meet up almost every night, and then we would just feed you guys questions, random questions, and you would just improvise them. And sometimes you were creating your characters, and then we'd realize we're like, oh, that's a real good backstory. We'd write that fucking shit down. And then we shot this. This is like one of the earliest videos where we kind of realized that you guys were now becoming these people.
How you do the kick and kick? I hit kick. No, you're not do kick. Me and Ed, we been play video game all my life.
I'm just playing the normal way, and I win. Great. Look at that, perfect. KO.
Okay, wait.
Why you gotta pause it? This guy gets mad and shuts off the game because I win.
Last time you on the computer, you go to the giggle, and from that time you start beating me.
Go to Giggle. Look it up. There's no cheat codes for this game, bro.
I know it's giggle. I know how to use computer. I don't like to cheat. Get shotgun, man.
The guy can't take losing.
In the street, the cheat move, not gonna help him in the street. I kick his ass. I don't wanna play.
I won.
I don't wanna play no more. I don't wanna play with you no more.
Why you always gotta stop it or quit?
Stop nothing. Every time we play. You do the shit code. Even with one hand, you beat me. You close your eyes, you beat me. I don't wanna play with you no more.
You can learn how to play. You can try to learn how to play the game.
No. Game.
He's probably on Giggle trying to see if there's cheat codes right now.
One of the first videos, man. That was that right there kind of really made me go, okay, I think we're fucking ready for this shit.
So we probably don't have a ton of time left, right?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, it's midnight. We've been doing this for a couple hours.
Yeah, it just sucks that we had to
That
break
we
it
lost
up.
it for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Typically, I would plug in, but right now,
I just wanted to address, since you're bringing back Ed and Moe again.
what the fuck you talking about? Bringing back?
Well,
Ed
you're
and Moe?
bringing it up again.
Oh, I mean, I don't even know if I have time to fucking do it again.
Well, I'm just talking. I just wanted to discuss what we were discussing earlier a little bit,
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that.
because I don't think a lot of people even are aware of what that was. That last thing we did as Ed and Moe, right?
What do you mean?
The road trip.
Oh, the road trip.
Yeah. It's such a bizarre story. When I tell people the story, like, I find myself, like, when I'm explaining it, like, I'm realizing how weird it is as I go along, kind of, and how weird it sounds to people. But like, oh yeah, I was an actor on this web series, for a few years, and we did, a number of episodes. And then there was this guy who was a big fan of the show. Oh, strange, wealthy man.
Explain it to them, bro.
Yeah. I'll look at them. Okay.
I'll set you up with the camera.
A strange, wealthy guy contacted Bulldog, I think, originally, right? Unless I'm wrong.
I think he contacted Bulldog first.
First, he contacted Bulldog and chatted him up about how much he loved the show, and wanted to pursue, like, hanging out with us or something. Like, I don't know. Well, from my experience, I got a text from you like a month before we left or something, but it was a text somewhere along the lines of, "Hey, do you want to do a road trip to LA? This date to this date." And I was like I happened to have like a window close to that, but then I negotiated. I was like, if we can come back 2 days earlier or whatever, I'll do it. And then that was it. And you were like, cool, let's go. A few days later, or like a week maybe later, we go to meet up to begin this journey with this random fan of the Ed and Moe Show.
Some Jordanian guy.
A strange, wealthy Jordanian man.
Seemingly wealthy.
Wealthy to some degree or another. The extent of which remains to be seen completely. Kind of a la Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows exactly the extent of his wealth, but he definitely has some accessible money, as we saw on the trip. It might not be,
But he was also kind of frugal at the same time.
well, yeah,
He was kind of like fake rich.
well, but a lot of the really rich people are fairly frugal sometimes too. It's I don't know, whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't really actually hang around with like millionaires and billionaires that often.
Right.
But anyway, this guy. So he loved the Ed and Moe Show. He contacted Bulldog. He asked Bulldog if we wanted to go on this road trip to LA to be VIPs in his fashion show. Right? So, yeah, I get that text from you. We set up the dates. Then the date comes. It's like a few days later or a week later. And the time comes to go on this road trip. I'm like, okay. I pack a bag.
I'm going to try to find some pictures. Keep talking.
I show up here to this house to meet up, to go on this road trip. And yeah, it's you and Bulldog are here and ready to go. And this guy,
He rented a car.
he had his own
He
car.
had one Mustang.
Right. He showed up with his own Mustang.
Which he said was, this is my concept Mustang,
Yes,
Remember? He was trying to play like he had it like custom.
Yes.
But the only thing he did was he put 666 on it.
It had his name in Arabic and English on the side and 666.
Big fucking deal. That's not like...
Yeah, you could get that done at any...
He tried
whatever.
to act like it
But
was
yes.
like a special edition from Ford that he made
Absolutely.
or whatever.
I do remember
and
that.
it's like,
yes.
bro, you're like one of those like boater fobs that like go to like Ace Hardware store and get those stickers with the flashy names, and they put
Yes.
their name on the trunk. Like, look, bro, custom from Acura. I was like, bitch, you did that from the hardware store.
Sure. And this was that that tidbit is indicative of the character that we got to know on this trip, very much so. So yeah.
He was a weirdo, man.
So yeah, he showed up in his Mustang with his name in Arabic and English on the side and 666. I remember, I think it was Bulldog who asked him like, "Oh, what's up with the 666?" And he was just like, "Oh, it's the devil. It's cool."
And the way he would laugh was so calculated. He would be like, "It's the devil!" Ha 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 ha.
He's wearing like a weird hat with like a little skull on it too. It's like a little bit weird, And so it's kind of red flaggish, but like enough at the point where we all made the call to still go on the trip.
Listen, we were gonna go to fucking L.A. We were down.
We were down to go to L.A. at that time.
And he was gonna pay for the expenses.
He was gonna pay for everything, so we were like, sure.
I remember there was a point where I kind of had a problem where he wasn't paying. Remember, I kind of had it in with him.
Yeah, it was somewhere down the line in there. But at that launch, I was like, this is really weird. Should I not go now? This guy's kind of weird, but whatever. I wasn't really scared of much, and also, I was with you and Bulldog and myself, and then just him.
Yeah.
Like, what are we worried about?
The only thing I was worried about was that he was not going to be who he said he was, and we're not going to be doing the things that he said we were going to be doing, and that he was going to, like, stop paying, and then next thing you know, like, he really did he did pay for everything, but let's face it, man, he got us the cheapest fucking motels. It's not like he was like, I got all this money, and we're going to have, like...
Yeah, it wasn't like...
he even tried to get us to sleep in the car at one point, and I'm like, we're not sleeping in the car, bro.
I mean, honestly, for me personally, that's the way I've rolled my whole life. Yeah, I'm like, if somebody told me to sleep in the car on a giant road trip to LA, I'll be like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, but I'm not like that. I'm like, I'm businessman. I'm like, bitch, you said you're gonna fucking put us up in beds, okay?
Me, I'm like, yeah, I thought we were gonna sleep.
Yeah,
in the car.
no. The whole time I was like, Sean, just don't fucking talk, bro. You're gonna ruin this whole fucking thing.
Right.
We gotta have a united front on this shit. And then he would be like, okay. He gets us a room. And then fucking, I'm like, no, I would just rather sleep in the fucking car.
So anyway, though. So then the purpose of this road trip to begin with was to take us to a VIP fashion show. But then also...
And I was filming the whole thing.
Also, you were filming the whole thing.
Because I was going to try to turn it into an episode or a season.
So there is a whole... You say you still have it. All the lost footage of this.
I have the footage, bro.
He's got it all. It's not lost.
There was some crazy shit that happened.
Yeah, really bizarre.
Remember when Bulldog had to take that giant shit?
That was amazing.
In the desert?
Yeah, that was...
You want to tell everyone about that? This is hilarious, guys.
I mean, it's a poop story.
If anybody's listening, man.
Trigger warning for people who have problems with poop stories. But
if I had the footage right now with me, man, I'd pull it up. I swear to God, I would pull it up.
I think
right
Bulldog
now.
was kind of mad after that.
That's when he started snapping.
He was a little mad.
That's when he started snapping.
It was really weird and funny though the way it happened. We were in the desert. We were in Arizona, I believe,
or
at the
New
time.
Mexico,
or New Mexico, one of those spots.
That might have been New Mexico
because we were driving through the desert, whatever, one of those places with the painted skies on the mesas and shit in the back. And yeah, at some point, well, Bulldog, a lot of times, he was the one who had to shit more than anybody else.
Because he would eat so much food.
He would eat a lot and shit a lot. Yeah. So,
this is anyway, like a hangover. Like it was like a hangover thing that we were doing.
But at one point, he was in the desert. He was like, we're in the middle of the nowhere. He was like, I gotta shit, and you were like, no, we're in the desert, and he's like, no, I really gotta shit, and we're like, okay, so
like there was no rest stop anywhere. I'm like,
no,
we're in the middle of the desert.
We're in the desert, yeah.
And then we're like, well, come on. He's like, well, let's just go for a hike. Let's just go for a hike.
So then he went somewhere to go take a shit. But then Eshaq wants me to do some filming.
I want footage.
You wanted footage. I didn't even think about that. But I thought you were just getting some B-roll, whatever, for the show,
man.
the episode that never got made.
Got made.
But you were like, okay, be Ed for a little while. Talk about how he's going for a shit or something like that. It was basically that. So I was just like, oh, okay. And I was just like, this fucking guy, bro, he's got to take a shit every 5 minutes. Like I just started talking like Ed, and he goes off into up into a little mountain, whatever, some rock formation.
Yeah, like he kind of like went up a little bit,
incline.
and then there was like a dip. There was like a dip. There was like a rock shelf.
It was a rocky
where he could like
yeah.
and then no one could see him except we could still see his stupid fat head, like his stupid fat head. and his sunglasses. So
Right.
like while he was taking,
So
a
it
shit,
was like
you
ridic-
just
yeah.
saw his head, and you know how his dumb head, he would just turn around, he would just like look around. Oh fuck! I was dying, bro. I was dying. How he looked like he was taking a shit, and he was so scared of everyone seeing it.
It was gross. Well, this. I'm trying to remember exactly how we got to the point where I actually saw the fucking pile too. Is
I fucking ran up to it like as soon as he,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
I filmed it.
But for me, it was like,
And it looked like a cow. It looked like a cow patty. You know, like
yeah, well, it was really weird for me because like I was in character too. I was acting like Ed. But then you're like, let's go look for him, you know? And then we're like, oh, okay, you know, yeah. And then we saw him. And then I thought I was basically just I thought you were going to like point out something and I was going to pretend to be grossed out by a shit. But then yeah.
I was surprised.
We got around to like, it wound up actually happening. Like it was one of those things. It was, for me at least, it was it was like, is this really happening? This is not happening. But then, oh, this is happening, you know, like, and then, yeah, because then you found, it was his tank top, his undershirt.
He used it to cover, didn't he?
He used it, I think, to wipe too.
Oh no, that's
So
right.
I think he had ripped it up, used it to wipe, and then covered it, and then you took a stick and moved it off, and it was something to behold.
It was miraculous. It was
tremendous.
It was gargantuan.
Big league.
Big league, very big league. It was, man, it looks like it was such a big, it was so, like if someone said this is where Bigfoot is, I'd be like, oh,
All
maybe.
Right. I think we're getting sidetracked though, because really I'm talking about this whole trip. To me,
That's the part that I fucking remember. I died the most.
The shit story is funny, and if you show the video and you lay out the story a little better, it's funny.
Oh, fuck.
But the whole trip to me is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we spend about 5 days driving across the country with this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but
No, don't say his name.
yeah.
Until I get him on the podcast.
right. But we spend 5 days driving across the country.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you went and rented a brand new Challenger to go with his brand new Mustang.
Yeah.
And the four of us,
He rented the Challenger.
well, he rented it, yeah, because he paid for everything. Right.
But he got the fake one. He didn't get the real one. He got the fucking.
He didn't get the whatever
8-cylinder. No, 6-cylinder trash.
He didn't get the Hemi.
Ugh.
Okay.
Ugh.
But so the four of us though, we would split off the whole time, 2 and 2, and yeah, the whole time we're getting to know this guy. Mm-hmm. Half the time in character. It was such a mind fuck for me.
It was.
I remember the first place we went was like some weird spot on the west side of Michigan, where we had chocolates. It was someplace he knew about. It was near Kalamazoo.
Oh yes, I remember that. I remember that.
The Chocolate Garden, I think, is what it was called. The Chocolate
The thing
Garden.
is, he hated flying. That was his thing. Remember?
That was why
He doesn't fly. Remember that? He goes, I don't fly. I only drive.
he does fly though. I mean, he goes international and shit. I see him on Facebook. So.
I remember at that time, I almost got the vibe like, if he fly, maybe he's not like his visa or some shit. I don't know. I was always speculating, like, why is it that you don't fly? He would tell me, he's like, no, I don't fly. Like,
Well, there are a lot of weird,
I don't like to fly. I don't like to fly is what he would say.
a lot of questionable aspects of his character for sure. I mean, and that's the thing. The whole trip, you and I, Bulldog and I, you and Bulldog, whenever I was in a car without him, we were talking about him and trying to figure it out. We're like,
Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, who is he?
Yeah, I'm pulling up pictures right now.
why?
Yeah, I found the fucking pictures, bro. So go ahead, keep talking the story.
How much do you believe about this guy and who he says he is and where he got his money from and whatever? Like, just trying to parse out the reality of what we're doing and what we're experiencing on this weird road trip with this random wealthy Jordanian.
Seemingly wealthy.
Well,
I know you're poor as fuck, and you think anybody who can like get a rental car that's not a real Hemi. There it is, right there.
he also has
Piece of shit.
Ultimately, we find out he does have a suite in 1010 Wilshire. There's enough money there that it's something.
Oh, he can rent the place out. I mean,
For how long you have a suite at 1010 Wilshire, you're doing
I would
okay.
say he's a thousandaire.
Okay.
It doesn't me without the beard.
All right. Still upper class, whatever. but ostensibly wealthy.
That's
he
him
likes
right there.
He likes to create an air of wealth for presentation.
I think he was more presentation than anything.
Yeah, and I have no idea how much he actually has, but
All the cables I have in the car.
but from my perspective, he was wealthy. Okay, I don't know, that has to be.
Oh, this is the picture of us at that food place you said with the chocolates. I had a picture
The
of
chocolate garden. You found it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was the first place we went, and yeah, he was really weird. But we did most of I didn't know him, and I was meeting him in character basically most of the time because we were filming right from the get-go.
Which
much.
makes sense why you guys weren't really onto him as fast as I was, because I was seeing him from the outside. You guys were in character most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, well, my character wasn't onto him, but I was with you. I wasn't quite at sure. Like at some point, yeah, you went hard. At first, you were like, "This guy's a sociopath," and I was like, "Really?"
We didn't even make it to Ohio, and I was already like, I don't know about this fucking
I know.
guy.
I thought you were pulling the trigger a little hard early, but then, like as time went on, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm in full agreement at this point. But yeah. We were just getting to know him, and I would get to know him in character. So a lot of that footage that you have of anytime I'm talking to him in character, I don't know this guy for real, and I'm really just getting to know him.
The picture right here that I got of me with the camera, this is where everyone's looking at. This is where we got out to take for Bulldog to take a shit.
Oh.
Anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, he's a very weird character. Supposedly highly educated too. He would always brag about his education to some degree. I think he said he had electrical engineering at Harvard. Wasn't that something he kept dropping? Even though he dumped Aquafina on his phone to try to clean chocolate off of it at one point, and then he was like laughing about it. Oh, I'm an electrical engineer. I should know better than this,
Bro. You know,
but
it's
weird.
I laughed the hardest was during Bulldog taking that shit, and then I think the other time I laughed the fucking hardest was the timing of we were doing this road trip for 4 days. We finally get to LA. We get there. He's talking up how there's going to be this amazing fashion show. You got to meet these twin Vietnamese fashion designers, the Sashika twins. We met them about 10 years ago, and he always was, his bullshit was he always played off like he owned us. Remember that? Even with the Sashika twins, he would be like, they are my designers. They're my, and that's not what it is. So that's where his fakery was. He would woo these people with, hey, we could do this thing in this building that I'm at, and you can do like this fashion show, and I'll help you out to do this fashion show and everything. But then I'm also going to tell everybody that I'm partners with you guys.
Right.
Or that these guys are my production team.
Which is what we got to know from the Sashika twins. Once we
when we talked to them, even the Sashika twins were like, he was like saying that you guys worked for him. But then once I saw you guys for 5 minutes, we're like, no, they got their own fucking thing going. What are you talking about?
Right.
And then I told him, I'm like, that's what he said about you.
That was the whole thing, yeah. And which, since then, when Trump was president, I could not stop thinking about how this is very similar.
Very similar.
Like, yeah, he was totally like that. The way he talked about things, like
he was very Trump
yeah.
in that all Trump did was he was good at putting his name on things, right?
Branding,
and this was
everything.
basically what this guy was doing.
He was trying to do the same,
but in a
kind of
very
thing.
sloppy way, and it just wasn't like sloppy,
Yes.
egotistical Arab way, right?
I mean, I see Trump as very sloppy too.
I think
but
Trump is Arab as fuck, bro, for a white guy.
But
man.
remarkable that he existed in the way he and with the success he had, honestly, in some ways.
But anyways, the thing that made me laugh the most is we finally get to LA late at night. It was like 3 a.m.
Night before the big fashion show.
Big fashion show. Night before the big fashion show.
Yeah.
So he told us there's going to be models sleeping in the apartment, on the floors and stuff. And we would walk in, and we got all our equipment. And the closer we went up the elevator, and he's like, okay, guys, when we get up there, okay, be very, very quiet. We don't want to wake up the pretty models. We don't want to wake up the pretty models.
Yeah, right.
So, okay. The elevator opens up. We start walking out. he's opening the door, and when he opens, he's like, okay, guys, watch out. There are models sleeping on the floor. Let's come inside. Boom. We walk in. We see some models sitting there sleeping. We're walking in, trying to roll our stuff very quietly, right? Whatever. We get in there. The lights are still off. The only thing that's illuminating the apartment is the lights from outside. So the lights from outside are like the only thing that's illuminating the apartment right now.
The Staples Centers.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So basically, we feel like we're like sneaking in, and you can just see silhouettes of like other people sleeping on the floor or whatever. And then we get there, and he turns around, and he looks at me, and he goes. While he tells me this, I didn't know that his assistant is about to turn on an air mattress. But the timing, because it was in the dark, and I'm taking this whole quiet thing seriously.
Yeah.
And then he goes, guys, remember, be very quiet. We don't want to wake up the pretty models.
Yeah.
The fucking
motorized air mattress pump, the automatic air pump for the air mattress.
And I remember, I died laughing so hard.
We all just
I
started
was
cracking up,
laughing so hard for like 20 minutes. I could not control myself.
It was funny.
The guy spent 20 minutes telling us how serious it is that we have to keep quiet.
Right,
and then he tells his assistant to turn on the fucking air mattress. And the fucking air mattress was
right. And there were a lot of like those kinds
you
of
saw the models like
yeah. Those kinds of naturally funny moments were endearing to me. Like that's funny. And yeah, but then the overall of it is still just so confusing as to who this guy is, why he would randomly say, "Oh, I like these guys on YouTube. I want to pay for them and drive across the country with them."
he loved our shit so much he wanted us to party with him.
Yeah, he just wanted to party with us. He was like buying us as his party boys.
Pretty much.
It was kind of what he was trying to do.
And he's pissing me off too.
But yeah,
He was pissing me to fuck off, that guy.
there were points. Yeah,
I wish there was a camera on me filming his motherfucking ass.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that was fucking missing.
Oh, and it got edgy between the two of you a number of times.
I almost caved his fucking face in a few times, bro.
Whatever. He's a pretty bad guy in a lot of ways, in retrospect, especially. When I think back of some of those memories, I'm like, he's he is a sociopath. He's got.
You think he is a sociopath? A sociopath is really like that's like the worst type of narcissism, right? Like sociopath.
Whatever.
If he's a sociopath, that scares the shit out of me.
I'm not gonna try to diagnose him with that or anything, but he's a very unscrupulous, unsavory character. I'll just put it that way.
I do want to hang out with him again.
I
do want to hang out. He was fun though, man.
Sometimes, yeah, whatever.
He was fun.
I met up with him at hookah bars and shit. Whatever.
Yeah. And then he would always have some guy that's this is my cameraman. It's like just some guy that he would just like sprinkle some magic, like, oh, I'm so important. You want to follow me? Trust me. And then,
but the fashion show
was kind of fun though.
It's kind of fun
and also very telling of L.A.
So that was my first time in L.A., I think, yeah. And, it was a very weird, like, almost stereotypical experience once the night was when we got there at night and that whole air mattress thing happened. And then
fuck that air mattress.
It was hilarious. And then we slept, and then we got up, and then that's the day of the big fashion show. It's a rooftop pool party fashion show.
It's so L.A.
Right.
So
it's
LA.
like stereotypically LA to me.
Pool.
It was like, oh, like a little on the nose. Like for me, when I got up there, I was like, this is like, are you like trying to be like, oh, okay, you're in LA now. Rooftop fashion show.
It was too much.
But there were a lot of fucking people there.
A lot of people.
And we were VIPs. You know, we got dressed up, get a fucking little cocktail. I was walking around behind, they're like the caterers are like trying to please me and shit. They're like, "Oh, do you want to try this? It's really good."
They even got Bulldog to do some dancing. Remember that? Bulldog did some entertaining the crowd and
with that one model with the giant butt implants and the
that real fucking.
She was like from Venezuela or something like that. But
there were some hot girls there.
But so the other side of the pool from us, there was tons of people. a lot of them with like cameras, constantly taking pictures of our side of the pool with us. So it felt really weird.
It felt really, really contrived.
Yeah, like,
And
I know I'm not a celebrity. I know nobody's gonna give a fuck
About
if
who
they
the
see
fuck
me
you are,
on
yeah.
TMZ.
No.
I'm aware of that.
yeah,
But just the feeling of being there at that moment and
Yeah.
seeing all these people snapping pictures of me and my friends.
they don't even know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, and after I've been on this 5-day road trip with this guy, who, yeah, this guy, yeah, I keep wanting to say his name, but I'm stopping myself. But so I remember he was rehearsing for the fashion show because he was like hosting it because it was his place. We learned from the Sashika twins that it was really their fashion show, but he was hosting it.
He was doing what Trump would do. He put his name on it.
100%. That's exactly what he was doing.
Basically, all he did was tell the hotel, "Hey, can we use the rooftop?" Yeah, I'm a producer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically
Exactly.
It's my show.
What the fuck else did he do? He had been on a road trip and in Dearborn with us before that.
Yeah.
So everybody else is busy getting this fashion show together.
Quiet. Don't wake up the beautiful models.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
never forget that, bro.
And I remember him rehearsing for the fashion show, and that was really also like another like, oh, this guy is a character, because I remember he took it really seriously when he was like, okay, it's time for me to rehearse, just basically just being like some kind of MC and going out there and being like, welcome to the fashion show, and I hope you all have a great time. We've got some really talented models and everything. This is going to be, so blah, 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 that kind of thing. He was just introducing it. He was just hosting it, just MCing it. But he was rehearsing for it for a long time. And I remember it was a catwalk that they had built over the pool that went over like closer to the big crowd of people with cameras and stuff. And he had his sunglasses on, and he was just kept doing this like walk that was like really like military style even too. He has a background in the Jordanian military as well, I guess. He showed us pictures and stuff as special forces.
He was so robotic.
I don't know, but he was doing this.
He was so
military
robotic.
walk for his hosting this fashion show, where he walked to the corner of the catwalk, did that heel turn,
The about face.
yeah, about face heel turn, and then he walked down to the end of the catwalk, and then like probably I think he took his sunglasses off at the end, that kind of thing. It was like, hi, welcome to the fashion, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
But yeah. So but then the whole time we were in LA too, just like a day or two more, a few days more.
We ended up shooting that video with Fousey Tube.
Fousey Tube, we did a
That was
video
before
with
he
him.
blew up.
Yeah. But
find that.
we could, it was kind of cool to have access to those fucking sports cars whenever we wanted in LA too. He gave the guys in the garage at the building, he was just like, hey, these are my friends. They don't ever want to use one of those cars, let them. And we were like, oh,
Which
that's
car
it?
they let us? But they let us borrow his. He had like two. He had another Camaro too.
Right.
He had a Camaro that we could
met
borrow.
up with his friends in Death Valley.
We did. There was a moment where we kind of felt like we were in Grand Theft Auto because we had this access to this high rise LA apartment,
Exactly.
and we take the elevator down to this garage, and then the fucking guy, the guy at the garage would just see us, and we're like, Camaro.
That was it.
And that's it. We just took off with
it
a
was
Camaro.
really weird. Yeah.
It was pretty cool though.
Right. It felt cool, but weird. And
And then
surreal,
remember
like GTA, yeah.
remember Hamoudi Jaffer was there?
Yeah.
Remember
why was he
Hamoudi?
in town?
He was. I forgot
I
what
remember
he
he
was
met
there.
us at the fashion show.
Oh,
Though.
I think he moved to L.A. Remember, he moved to L.A. for a minute because he was
just
going to pursue acting in L.A. And then he gave up on that, and then he came back to Detroit to work at Quicken Loans, and then he ended up becoming like a director. So now he's like directing commercials.
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff
doing a lot
like
of
that.
like
Yeah.
film now. Right?
Yeah. He's doing a lot of film work, which is amazing. But he was out there, Hamoudi Jaffer, and then we took the Camaro. Remember that? This is one of the days that I knew we was from Detroit. We took this Camaro,
Oh, you're talking about the
and then we
parking thing.
drove to the sushi spot, right?
Asian fusion.
Asian fusion spot, right? Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. So anyways, we drive to this spot, and there's a sign out front that literally says that according to when you can't park, we are allowed to park right now.
Well, so it was a very complex thing to decipher. there were about 5-6 signs.
Well, that's all LA parking signs. You need a lawyer with you.
That's kind of what it was like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like you got to interpret. But we all stood there and we
We
analyzed.
broke it down.
Right,
We even saw numbers in our eyes.
So we went sign by sign. We were like, this one is Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 p.m. No parking.
What day is it? Oh, it's fucking Saturday.
Doesn't apply.
Right.
Next one. We went blah, blah, blah. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Next one.
Saturdays at 3 to...
Are you pregnant?
Yeah,
No.
right. All that stuff. None of them applied. We all, like, verified with each other. We're all like...
We had a meeting of the minds.
Right. None of
all
them...
4 of us were just like,
Right.
This is kosher.
None of these signs apply to us. What we're doing
AKA
right now.
halal. We're
So
good
we're good
to go.
So let's leave the car.
Let's leave this fucking car right here.
But then...
But there was a valet guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a valet guy for the area, right?
Yep.
And he's got his little sign up. Now, as far as I'm concerned, whenever there's a valet guy, the city, typically you'll see on the sign, it'll say that during these times, the valet gets to run the shit. A lot of the times I've
Right.
seen that in other cities.
Yeah. Like
Does that make
in
sense?
Detroit. In Cliff Bell's has it in front of theirs. It's Sundays, valet Sundays only.
See?
In front of Cliff Bell's.
So, okay, right. So we didn't see that sign, right? So to us, we were like, we can fucking park here. The guy tells us, hey, you can't park here. And we looked at him, and I remember even Bulldog took charge of that. He's like, cuz, we looked at the sign. Tell us in the sign where it says we can't park here. And the
Right.
guy's like, you don't understand. After this time, we run valet.
Right.
And this is the spots that we use for valet. And then we told him, what did we tell him? He goes, you're going to get a ticket. I go, that sign says we're not going to get a ticket. And then we told him, he's like, if you think we're going to get a ticket, call the cops. Let's see what happens. Because as far as we know, that sign, we had balls. We didn't give a shit. Then we went inside and ate.
We were eating.
And then they came in halfway.
We were like waiting for our food even too. No, I went out. I was like, because I was smoking cigarettes. I was like, I'm gonna go out and have a cigarette, and I'll go look at the car, and I'll see if it's still there. You know,
Yeah,
make
that's
sure it's
right.
all cool.
Yeah.
So I go out and have a cigarette.
yeah.
And of course, valet guy's right there too. So I'm smoking a cigarette, and that valet guy just keeps trying to plant seeds in my ear. He's just like,
it'd be a shame.
he's like, your friend's car is gonna get towed. You know?
Yeah, like
It's
veiled
okay.
threats.
Yeah, no, he was like not even very veiled. I mean, well, he was saying, your friend's car is going to get towed. This is not a good place to park. My friend, you know, I would move the car.
My friend.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And I went back in. I told you guys that. And I was like,
We
he
were
says
so
that,
relaxed.
But the sign doesn't say that.
The thing is, where we were sitting, we could see the car too. I remember we could see the parking spot.
I guess it was our strange Jordanian friend's car anyway. So if it got towed,
We were right.
you said you'd pay for everything. Get your car out of the impound.
Yeah, come on, cuz. I thought you were about it. I thought you were about it. Remember about it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. And then no, you don't understand. The icing on the cake is how baller we looked in front of the waitress, because the waitress walked up to us.
Oh yeah, I
And
do
she
remember
was
her
like-
recognizing it.
And then
Yeah.
she's like, so you guys parked there? And we were like, yeah, you know, and she goes, I've never seen any customers park there.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And we were like, yeah. And we were like, fuck yeah. We felt so Detroit in that
Yeah.
moment. We were like, fuck yeah, bro. And then when we went out, the car was fine. He just was fucking looking at us like, oh, your magic trick didn't work on us, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some people just fucking like take that type of authority. I've seen people in downtown Detroit give money to the homeless people because they thought the homeless people were actually park attendants. Remember that? Reggie would fucking get people all the fucking time.
You know, I bartended right there, so it was a constant. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where they would just be like, where somebody would park and they'd be like, go, come on, you're good.
Yeah.
Turn.
They act like
turn.
they're an attendant.
Yeah. And then they
just
walk
to
up.
park, just to get you to parallel park on the
Yep.
street, which is free anyway, or you have
And then
to pay
with
a
authority,
meter.
they'll come up to you and be like, all right, that'd be $5, sir.
Right.
You know, and
Exactly.
And then some people
Yeah.
will just pay it.
Some of those people will pay him, not pay the meter, wind up getting a $45 parking ticket, and just losing $50.
Or just parking in a spot that's supposed to be free.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't even fucking pay it at all. Like,
Exactly.
You know, like I remember right in front of 7th Heaven, there was like many spots over there you could just park. There was no meters.
You want to hear a more Detroit parking story?
Yeah.
So yeah, Park Bar. I was bartending there.
Park Bar.
Park Bar.
Downtown Detroit.
Downtown.
Is it still there? Are they still? I think it's not the same owner though.
Jerry doesn't.
Jerry
own it
sold it,
anymore.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sold it to Paul, who owns Cliff Bell's. And
Right.
Queens
That's
and-
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, while you were working there, how long ago was this?
This was a couple years ago.
Okay.
2-3 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm working, and there's a lot behind Park Bar that's a gravel lot, and it's almost always, it's just fenced in with chain link fence, and it's almost always been just closed, like locked, and you can only access the entrance is in the alleyway, so you have to go through that alley, and it was always like closed, or I always just at least wrote it off. All the years I worked there, I was always like, you can't park there. People told me that the Illiches own it. So you shouldn't, you're not going to park there. So whatever. I just never even thought about it. It wasn't even on my radar. But then one day I'm working with this newer guy, and I noticed he parked in there. And I was like, dude, you parked in that gravel lot? Because, parking's hard to find around there sometimes too. And he's like, yeah, I've been parking there. I've been getting away with it for weeks. I go for it. And I'm like, really? Oh, wow. Free parking. I guess I'll take that if I can't find something like free and easy anyway. So I did, and then I did it another time, and I got away with it for like a week or so, parking in that gravel lot. I was like, this is great, it was very easy and accessible. Then one day, I'm working my shift at the bar. Somebody did come in at some point, and they were saying, people got to get their cars out of there. They're saying people got to get their cars out of there. But I was like busy and I couldn't leave. But I was like, okay. But I'll just not park there next time. They're not going to tow me right now.
Right.
Because there's no signs up in there.
Right.
It was open,
It's just the lot,
right.
gravel with fence.
Yeah.
And that's typically one of Illich's properties that they
sit on, yeah.
that they fucking rent out for like $20 during games, right, for parking.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're parked in this
But
lot.
this is a weird back alley one that's not like an open one for the public usually ever. But yeah, for games, maybe they might do that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, I'm in this lot. So I closed the bar. I shut down the bar, 2 a.m., I'm out of there by like 3 or 3:30 or something like that, probably. And
so now you got to go to this back
I
entrance.
lock up, and I'm like, oh.
There's no lighting.
I've got to go get my car. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to the lot. I'm a little bit worried that it's not there just because it's possible they could tow it, but I was like, they're not going to. But I go, because I think I even asked somebody to scope it out for me at one point too. I was like, can you just make sure my car is still there? And they're like, yeah, they did.
That's anxiety, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather pay $10 and just fucking, I know.
Yeah. But, working there every day, that shit adds up.
I know. I know.
But whatever. So my car's still there. Yeah. It was like the mud lot, kind of.
Yeah.
But a little bit nicer. But
okay.
So I go back there, my car is still there. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go home now. And I go in, go sit in my car, and I relax in my car for a little while.
Yeah.
I think I was still smoking at the point. I think I had a cigarette. And I was just like, I was like, all right, time to go home. And then I go to pull out, and then that's when I realize I've been locked in this chain link. So there's just a lock on the
motherfucker, bro.
and I'm locked in. There's no way out.
Did you fucking
But it's like,
bash through it?
oh, I thought about it. I sat there for a little
It
bit.
would have fucked your car up.
Yeah.
What car was it?
It was my Mazda.
So this is way back before we lived in 7th Avenue? No, this is after.
No, well after.
This is the Mazda. I'm sorry. Because
Yeah.
before that, you had the Honda Prelude when we were
Yes, that was my first car.
I'm thinking Prelude. No. I know the Mazda. Yeah. This is recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you would have fucked that car
But so, yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, because like, it's like, I got to get home. I don't want to wake up whoever's at home. Chances are like, they had to teach in the morning or something. And like, I didn't want to, whatever. It was like probably pregnant. And you know what I mean? It's like a whole mess. And I'm like, oh God, this is horrible. What am I going to do? And then I was like, I got to think outside the box. There's got to be something, I'm like looking around, thinking. There's signs for a company or whatever that's doing construction there or whatever. I'm like, oh, I could call that number, maybe get somebody, try to track somebody down who has that key, who can just fucking unlock this. But I'm like, I don't know.
And did you?
But then I had another thought, and I was like, is there any way I can physically just get my car out of here? And I looked at the fence, and I was like, oh, what can I do to this fence? And I looked, and there's the the tension rod that holds the fence, the chain link fence to the post. And there's one section right that leads to the alley that looked just big enough for my car to drive through, but it's, you know, it's got a fence. But I'm like, is there any way I can like peel the fence or something? So I go up and I go to look at it, and you know, it's just held on by bolts. There, you know, and I'm like, well, if I have tools, I could do this. So I go and look in my car for tools. I don't have fucking tools in my car, but I did have a pair of jumper cables that had fallen apart. So I just had the alligator clip head part.
And they were pretty big.
They were kind of big enough.
So they gave you the leverage to pry on that?
So I went up to the fence, and the bolts that are bolting the tension rod, the fence to the tension rod, to hold the whole thing to the post, each bolt
Had a nut.
It was a little nut. And I took the alligator clip
and just twisted
and it fit perfectly, like the you know how it's all zigzag teeth.
Yeah.
The very tip of it.
So the zigzag teeth
had a zigzag that matched
and it fit
perfectly. Perfectly. Yes.
Come on, bro. It's like a movie.
Right. So, but it was
Like
still
MacGyver.
It was still a pain in the ass though, because I kind of had to like press it like that, you know. To like,
How long did it take you?
Hold it open.
How long did it take you from after finding that out?
It was about, I think, like no longer than 1 hour from when I discovered that I was trapped in there to the point where, okay, because also after I got it all off the tension rod, peeled the fence back, then I drove my car out. I'm like, oh, I fucking did it, you know. But then I look at it and I'm like, I can't just leave the fence peeled open like that, you know, because I'm looking at all these cameras. There's security cameras everywhere around me. And I'm like...
So you assembled it again?
So I put it all back
and then you
together.
jumped the fence?
No, there was a way to walk in. That's how I got in originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But no, and I assembled it. I finished assembling it from the
So
other
how
side.
long from the point that you realized you could do that till assembling?
About 1 hour, I got that fucking fence apart.
You're such a good dude, bro. That's the thing, man. You're a good person.
I really wish I
you know?
had that video of me doing that, though, because I was kind of proud. Yeah, talk about Detroit parking right there. That's Detroit pride in overcoming parking difficulties.
Fuck, that's great, dude. That's some MacGyver shit right there.
I was
bro.
proud of that.
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a proud moment like that. When I was in the Marines, man, I was a mechanic on tanks. So at that time, man, I was really, really like, just my mind worked that way. And I had a 1988 Toyota Supra that I was driving. It was a stick shift.
I remember that.
No, this is...
Oh, different.
I still have that car in the garage.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. No, this is an older one.
That was like 90.
This is like a 93. That's the new design. This is the old design. It's more boxy and shit. But that's what I had. I had a silver one in the Marines. And I would drive that thing, bro, to and from North Carolina. So like I was one of those crazy Marines where we would get like a 96, which is 96-hour Liberty, 4 days off. As soon as that formation fucking hits, everything's packed in my car. Drive to Detroit, 12, 13 hours. Spend as much time as I can. Drive back just in time to make formation. So that was the hustle, man. That's, you know, just to get home for a little bit and then fucking...
You do that how often?
Anytime we ever got like a 4-day Liberty.
Which is how often?
Yeah, I don't know. Like big holidays like 4th of July, you know, all right. Like stuff like that. And
sure.
You know. So I think I ended up all the way up until somewhere in mid-Ohio. I'm coming back for Christmas. Bro, I get pulled over by a cop. The cop pulls me over and he comes to the window and I was like, "Merry Christmas, sir." I was like trying to like, you know,
butter him up a little
bit. He's like, license, registration, and whatever. I gave him everything plus my military ID, right? And he looks at it and he goes, "You in right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." And he goes, "Merry Christmas." He let me go. Very nice, good start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I get halfway up through Ohio. I pull into this gas station. I fill up the gas. I go to take a shit. I come out, and my car, my Supra is out there, and all this, I didn't even see it. As soon as I walk out, the guy at the register is like, hey, man, your car just took a piss all over our lot. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't know, man. A bunch of red fluids just all over the place. And I was like, motherfucker, dude.
Brake fluid?
It was the radiator.
Oh.
It wasn't the radiator. It was the freeze plugs. The freeze plugs on the side of the engine blew. Okay? But Toyota was so smart in their fucking engineering, they didn't have freeze plugs like American cars had. American cars had freeze plugs, and the freeze plugs are there for like if there's ever like the entire block gets frozen, say, the ice will expand, right? So they put freeze plugs in there so that it would burst some of that. It would. There were certain sections in the engine block designed to burst and let out pressure so that the ice wouldn't end up cracking the block, right? So they put these little plugs in there. It's kind of like a weak point, right? It's like a weak point,
Yeah.
And it's there on purpose so that the ice can expand throughout that as opposed to cracking the block.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So in American cars, it was always like a like metal, like it looked like a bottle cap. It's almost like that type of material, and then that would end up popping out. And that thing pops out, dude, on American cars. It's like, motherfucker. But Toyota was smart, dude. They had rubber freeze plugs. They were just rubber. And the rubber just got rotted out because it was so old. It was supposed to be changed. And it never did. And it was like, and so then I told the guy, it was like Christmas. It's almost Christmas Eve. The guy's like, dude, the mechanic's not here, man. And I'm like, fuck, what can I do? He's like, I don't know, dude. He's like, there's a mechanic guy over there. Maybe you can go there and like see if he's there. I walked over, he wasn't there. Walked back. The guy's like, man. And I go, you guys got a garage? He's like, yeah, but the mechanic's not showing up. He fucking went home. He's not. Nobody's here. I was like, would you guys mind if I like walked in there and like see if I could figure something out?
Find a little something.
And he's like, you think you could figure something out? I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure. I go, I'd rather fucking go in there and try to figure it out.
I mean, you're a mechanic.
Bro, I went in there, man, just like how the alligator clip like fit that thing perfectly, bro.
Yeah, what'd you find?
It was just almost everything that I needed to find made fucking sense. So I found a rubber tube, just a rubber tube that fit perfectly over that little tube where the cap was, where the rubber cap was, right? So there's like a tube that's sticking out. It's the rubber cap. That thing's off now. Now I got to figure out. So I found a tube to go over that. It was almost like, not even a tube, almost like a garden hose type of tube. So I cut that. Then I needed to plug this thing. So I found like a bushing. You know what a bushing is? It's kind of like especially this one, it was like a cylinder, right? It was a cylinder, but then it had a hole in it.
Yeah.
That fit perfectly into the tube. So now I just got this hole. And then I found a screw that fit perfectly into that thing. And then I found JB Weld, which was this thing that if you put it on it would like
It's like
simulate sealing it.
Loctite. Yeah.
And then I would put epoxy. I found epoxy in there. And I asked the guy, I was like, you think the mechanic would be okay if I like, he's like, dude, you should be good, man. Put that thing on there, bro. That thing lasted another fucking 50, 60,000 miles before I sold the fucking car, man. And it felt so good. All I did was like, I bought the antifreeze that the guy had there, poured it in. I was back on the road in like less than an hour, bro. And like that shit would have never happened if I wasn't a mechanic in the Marines, you know?
It's a good feeling when you overcome something like that in a short amount of time, especially too. Like, yeah, like that situation with the fence, the initial impulse looking at it was like, I'm fucked.
You're fucked.
I have to go home to get my spare.
Yeah.
Really, or no, that wasn't it was nothing to do with the spare. I'm fucked. I have to leave my car here, and there's a good chance it could get towed. I've been up till like 4 a.m. now already, and I'm gonna have to come out here way early in the morning to just try to get here when they open the lot.
Exactly.
And not get towed.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what, like I was just.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling when you like overcome shit, man. I got a lot of especially in the Marines, things that we've done, like figured shit out, man. Like just last minute, doing more with less mentality, man. That's where it's at, you know. And rich kids don't get that. They just don't. I'm gonna play this video real quick. We were just talking about the Fusi Tube video.
Oh, you're gonna play that?
Yeah, I'm gonna play that.
Night
It's only like 2 minutes and 19 seconds. We were just talking about going on a trip with this crazy Jordanian dude who became a fan of us. If you guys are just coming in, like years ago, became a fan of us and then took us on a road trip with him from Michigan to LA to go to some extravagant and also very weird fashion show in LA. And we were just talking about that. And then while we were there, we ended up making this video. And we shot this with FouseyTube. And this was just before he blew up. Like, he was a fan of ours. And he was like, man, I really want to do YouTube. And he was like, I heard you guys are coming to California. Let's do this video. So then I ended up writing this really short video called Middle Eastern Night Rider. And here we go. Oh, hold on a second. I got to share the screen. I forgot to share the screen, guys. I forgot to share the screen. Here we go. Castro, remember Castro? He made the beat, that real big dude.
Now return to Middle Eastern Night Rider. لك يا حمار ما في GPS في الجراج لازم انك تحط النمرة على حالك. طيب English mode activated. شو؟ I said English mode activated. علي الشباك. Ali shake bake. All I'm pulling up is crystal meth recipes. عربي. Incoming call from.
يا رمازر. حماد؟
ايه مام شو بدك؟
بدي بطيخة.
طيب يلا بجيب لك البطيخة مش فاضي لك هلا باي. اخ يلا اشتغلي دخيلك عربي.
So your mom shaves like what, 2-3 times a day? Oh wait, incoming call from. Wait for it.
يا رمازر.
ايه مام.
بعمل لك سكرت الخط علي.
ما مش فاضي لك يلا باي. عربي بنت العربي.
Be nicer to your mom, fat ass. You know she goes wow. اللغة العربية مفروض.
علي الشباك.
عم احكي لك الشباك دول رصاص. Incoming call from.
يا رمازر.
Yeah. That was fun. That was fun. That was
I remember we shot that in the parking garage of the place.
where we would get the Camaro or wherever car that we wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember it was
Because I saw the garage and I was like, this is gangster. Like, we got to do something with this garage.
or
you
you
know?
and Bulldog were bickering at that one.
We fought.
Yeah.
I think after that, after me and him fighting after that, I was just like, kind of like, that's when I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. You know, because I was just putting too much work into it. I was doing the majority of the heavy lifting, and it kind of got to me after a while. You know, and then after a while, you're kind of like you have to assess. What are you getting out of it as opposed to what you're putting into it. And then I found out I was putting so much time into it, which I love doing, but instead it was like I had to start trying to take those skills and use them to make an income.
Well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then that's what ended up getting in the way. But I'd like to do another thing again. That'd be great. That would be awesome. Do you remember Castro?
I don't know if
You might have met this guy, man. Remember that Domino's pizza commercial I did with Dave Herbst? And then in here, I'll play it right now. And then in the video, there's that really big dude. You never met Castro? Well, he would do a lot of our music. Remember, like, he did that rendition of he took the rendition of what John Edwardowski made, which was the actual dink, 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 and then he did it with like a rap beat, and then
With
he
the
did
beat,
like
yeah.
the Ed and Moe Show, the Ed and Moe Show. That was Castro, yeah. He's fucking. I love that dude, man. Like, he fucking passed away, man.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, dude, he died in a fire, bro.
Oh, shit.
I know. But I'm gonna play this video. We did like a 30 It's only like 30 seconds.
We delivered Bryce from Minnesota this pizza. Steve was a delivery man, and today we make it right. Hey, which one of you guys is Steve?
Can I help you?
When we launched showusyourpizza.com, we asked our customers.
Who was that?
to
Was
be
that
photographers.
Tommy
And now
Simon?
our employees
Tommy Simon.
share shit.
I recognize that guy's voice anywhere.
We're not going to deliver pizzas like this.
So we're extending our $5.99 inspired pizza deal because we want to see more of your pizza pictures.
And we're not going to fail. I guarantee it.
It's pretty good pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that motherfucking guy. He was the shit. Dude, I can't believe we went this long.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna cut it off here soon.
Yeah. I mean, you're the one that wanted to bust out that story, bro. I thought we were going to cut it. We did like an hour and a half on the other one. And then now here's another hour and 50 minutes. This might be the longest fucking podcast I've done so far.
I would imagine.
It sucks that it broke. I'm sorry that happened, guys. Whatever, accidents. And I'm kind of glad that a lot of you guys came back. You know, like, I mean, I sent out the message on everything, and then a few guys
Yeah.
came back. It was great.
Yeah. Express interest. You know, in this story that I told about this mysterious road trip.
Because you wanna.
I'm interested in exploring it, going back over it further, just for my own like.
You want me to do something with the footage?
I kind of feel like it's worthy of it. I mean, in my memory, it's like it's so bizarre. It's like the story of it and how it came to be.
I wonder if we can get Diane Bailey if she even has time, man, because she's a great editor.
Well, be nicer to her on Facebook then.
No. I'm not, it's not being nice, man. I'm just, listen, to me, the fact that anybody would just like take Facebook to that face of the value and like think that is real communication.
It is still real communication.
A lot is lost. And not only that, you got to understand.
But you can still be a dick.
You got to understand, because I'm direct. And the thing is, like, a lot of the people that we're talking about, they really don't like handling that. How's this? This is the filter that community sees me in. And they've been seeing me in this lens for a really long time. So I won't name any names on this one, but one improviser in particular, we ended up working. This is years ago when I first started doing Second City. We were already living in Seventh Heaven. And there's one improviser who was pretty high up, you know, pretty ahead of us, wanted to borrow some camera equipment from me. So I let him borrow some camera equipment. And then in the process, we ended up hanging out and talking. And he got to know me. I got to know him. And then he goes, "Wow, Eshaq, a lot of people got you wrong. You're a really nice guy." And I'm just like, that has been everything. So that's,
Well, you do have your moments.
well, listen, I get that, but I mean, I'm always painted with this, you're a tough guy, you're just macho, you don't give a shit. No, I'm just direct. I'm direct, and I'm to the point. That doesn't mean that I don't listen. That doesn't mean that I'm open-minded to your viewpoints. I get turned off when all of a sudden people jump down my throat thinking that me asking a question is picking a fight. That's how they see me. I'm thinking, and to me, it's like, if you were to call me or talk to me in person, you would get my inflection and you would understand that I'm not mad at you, nor am I talking down to you or looking down on you.
I'll appreciate what you're saying, and I'll you know, but I will also say I have seen some of these exchanges, and I think you're coming off right now in the way you're characterizing the way you are.
I'm really patient on there, man. It's just when people start getting to a point where they start trolling me, then I start trolling them. Like when I posted a picture of me in Puerto Rico. That once they came on my picture to shame me for enjoying myself. Social distancing, mind you. Puerto Rico was doing the most social distancing. Not only that, I even got a place that had a private beach so that there was no people there.
Sure.
What better place to be?
It's very nice.
What better place to be?
In a lot of regard, I can't blame you.
Yeah.
And
I'm getting sun, and I'm getting, it's healthy.
But at that time,
and then they're gonna shit. They're gonna shit on my picture, they're gonna try to rain on my parade. That's when you get troll shack. That's when I'm gonna start trolling you, because then I don't take you seriously anymore.
not
Now
just
you're a
raining
clown.
on your parade,
Now
though.
you're a clown. You're a clown.
People are concerned about the pandemic. You
Okay.
can't just call it, oh, they're just trying to rain
Then
on your parade.
be
That's
concerned.
like
Then
that's
be
like saying
concerned.
Trump saying like, oh, they're all just jealous.
Then be concerned.
People who criticize him.
Be concerned. Don't follow me on Facebook. Stop looking at my pictures, because I'm going to be traveling and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. That's just it. You don't like it. Don't say anything. You want to say something, and then you're going to get an emotional response because you come up on my picture because I'm trolling you now?
They're looking for you to acknowledge the validity in their concerns.
Listen, their concerns, of course, it's valid. Don't you think I take measures? Don't you think that I'm like getting on there and like wearing a mask?
Well, but not everybody does, and,
Okay,
and
don't
things
they?
have been
Don't they
handled
know?
poorly.
But that's because they're not taking data into consideration. They don't know that the filters on the plane actually almost make it really fucking safe, and they fog the cabins in between flights. They fog it with this disinfectant that actually like lasts on surfaces for 30 days, like still killing anything that touches it. So these companies are taking steps to make this shit super fucking safe. You don't hear outbreaks happening on airplanes. People are traveling. People are taking COVID tests before going to Puerto Rico. You got to get a COVID test 3 days before you fly out. Like
Okay.
they're taking all kinds of precautions. And then you get to Puerto Rico, everyone's wearing a mask. On the beach, they're wearing masks. Mm-hmm. The police goes around and tells people to leave the beach if it starts getting too crowded. They start policing and telling everyone to go home and shit.
But you can understand why someone who maybe might not be up to
Concerned?
What all the,
I understand.
Yeah.
Why the vitriol?
I don't think it was all vitriol, and I think you got a little defensive at some points.
No, well, listen, because to me, I think it's stupid. It's stupid to go in there and just try to act like you're like. There's this one comic. She literally keeps posting stuff like how she's helping the world, staying at home. Okay, it's like there's this badge of honor right now with just like staying at home and doing nothing. Take your vitamins, work out, figure out a new avenue, better yourself. I've seen people, a lot of stand-up comics especially, become way better during this pandemic. It made them stronger. A lot of them lost a lot of weight, because like they knew they were gonna, that was one of the major factors in like the death rate. Is a lot of people were obese. A lot of people were overweight. And their cardio was really fucked up. So my point is that there's two ways to look at it. Internalize what's happening and better yourself, or be one of these toxic people sitting on Facebook waiting for you to show some enjoyment in your fucking life and then going on your picture trying to show both that they're a better person because they're not doing anything. So that's where the problem is. You want to say something, send me a personal message, or say something like, Mike, I really hope you enjoy yourself. Please stay safe. This is not like cool because it's so whatever. I'm very open to discussions like that. I love when people engage me in a very respectful way. But when you're going to come in there with this like righteousness, like you're better than other people because you get to say this thing, it's just like, stop it. You're not doing anything other than making yourself feel better.
I can't defend each and every person that you might be like referring to in this instance, but like it's not as simple as you kind of like we're painting it right there. It's not just like there is a massive crisis happening. That's how at least a lot of people see it. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Is it that massive of a crisis when the majority of people are surviving it and kicking it like it's not a problem?
It's still a crisis. Why would the hospitals, ICUs be filling up? Why would...
At that point, when it was early on, they didn't know how to treat it. That's why it was filling up, because a lot of people were on ventilators for too long. They didn't understand how to deal with it. Now they kind of got a better hand on it. I think a lot of things was filling up because we didn't know what's going on. Now, at certain points, if things start flaring up, dude, for sure, now we need to like slow things down. But at some point, man, you started seeing people in Oklahoma handling it no problem. Austin and freaking Texas, You talk to everyone. They all got it. Everyone I talked to, like, yeah, I already got it. How was it? Yeah, it was fucking shitty. Some people are like, yeah, it kind of sucked. Some people will tell you, man, it was harsh, man. I never want to go through that again. Most people were just like, it was nothing. It was like the flu. So to me, it's like, you know, like I don't know, man. Like I travel around the country, and for the first time in my life now, liberals are making me look at Republicans like maybe I was wrong about them. Like for real.
Well, I would already, like, off the bat, just don't fuck with Republicans or liberals. They both suck. They're not your friends.
Democrats specifically, not liberals.
Well, yes.
Democrats.
Sure.
You know.
But
because liberals is a very broad, like.
Yeah, like whatever. It's all just like lumping people anyway. Like political party wise, yeah, I don't know. That's a whole separate discussion. But the optics of it and the information that's out there to most people and to myself is that it is a huge crisis. I have people in the medical field, you know, working in the medical field who I know, who I'm friends with on Facebook.
Me too.
And I see them working and encouraging people to stay at home. Yep. There are things that say stay at home.
Sure.
It's a movement for a good cause, in my mind. Like, you know, everybody should be trying to stay home just to do their part. So I can understand when people see someone doing travel that looks unnecessary. Mm-hmm. I can understand why they might be a little bit concerned and they might say something. I'm not going to say each and every person took the best tact with you or whatever and maybe didn't deserve a little bit of shit. But the overall thing of like taking the Kid Rock road that you did by taking the picture with the middle finger.
That, you know what, that picture there, that was just me taking a picture. This is the thing, because your brother this is so sad that you did it, that you did this. I'm like, listen, first off, the picture was me taking a picture of me and her, and then in the picture, while she could see her reflection, I flipped her off, and then she flipped me off.
Right.
And then I posted that picture.
But you posted it
and
with
then
a message of like, fuck you, I'm traveling.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, exactly. But at the same time, it's not like I did it to like fuck you, the people.
But you can see what I'm getting.
Well, because it got to that point. It got to that point where those trolls. Good. If you are the type of person that can't control your own emotions, you deserve to be trolled. Honestly, because someone
that's rich coming from you, bro.
Listen, in my 20s, I was an idiot. Right now, man, you know, I've gotten to the point where I've gotten like a real good control. What you're hearing right now is not anger. This is me just making a point. Some people think that the way I talk when I'm like very assertive, that's being aggressive. I'm not being aggressive. The point is I'm really making a point, and I'm kind of passionate about this point because I think it's stupid to go on someone's page. If someone posted a picture that I didn't like, I just don't like it in silence. Why do I need to cram it down their fucking throat?
You can understand that this is a little bit different of a situation than just not liking someone's fucking like pants in a picture or something like that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that everyone
because to me it's like there's
the right approach with you, but
to me it's just people who literally during this pandemic have too much time on their hands.
Well, for sure.
And they're really angry about having to be inside all the time.
Uh-huh.
And they're complying with that.
And they might even know someone who's died or something.
Right. And then now they're seeing other people that are not complying with that.
Right.
And they're just sitting there going, well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How fucking dare you? I'm fucking sitting inside miserable as fuck.
Right.
And you're out there on a fucking beach.
Sure.
That's miserable. You should fucking work out. You need to work out. You need to do some fucking squats. You need to do some cardio. All that energy will fucking leave your body if you actually pushed yourself. If you actually said, fuck Facebook, let me go for a walk. Because COVID doesn't really fucking exist that much in the sun. They've already fucking said that. That's one of the safest times to be is when the sun is out.
But they might even be doing that. Like you said.
If they were really doing that, I don't think they would be fucking like just angry when somebody posts a fucking picture of them. I promise you, if you ran up a canyon or fucking just went out to Ford Woods and one of those hills, they got those hills in Ford Woods, any place that's got a little hill, do what I do. Go run it up and down up and down 10 times. See how you feel after that. See if after that, do that and then jerk off. See if you have any fucking energy to do anything on Facebook about getting mad at people. Honestly, rub one out, do some fucking sprints. I bet you any money you have no fucking energy to fucking care about shit like that.
You were getting mad at the people getting mad at you.
Yeah.
And you're running up and down hills and jerking off. And you're still getting mad.
No. But see, that's the thing. I'm mad about it right now, talking about it.
Yeah.
During it, it doesn't bother me. To me, I'm like, this is hilarious. It's disappointing, is what it is. It's disappointing.
People on Facebook might say something.
It's disappointing.
And then they might not think that much about it after they say something to you.
And here's the thing. When I'm engaging them on that, do you think I'm angry? No. I'm like, this is hilarious. This is really funny to me. And I'm just going to keep poking that tiger because you should get a good handle on yourself and realize engaging me about something like this is going to get you nowhere. But if you want to have an actual discussion, come at me with respect and I will gladly meet you with the same type of energy.
I don't know. I feel like you're coming off a little self-righteous with that shit.
Bullshit. How's that self-righteous in terms of saying that I'm a tit-for-tat person?
You're trying to say that you communicate better than everybody else, basically.
How am I saying that's how I communicate better than anyone else?
Than all these other people who are expressing concern about the fucking virus. You
think that I haven't had any discussions with people about that? It's just the people. If you ever read the threads, if you read it all the way through, you'll see me trolling the people that deserve to be trolled, and then I'm having regular discussions with people who are actually being respectful.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
you
whatever.
go back and forth. In my view, I
you know what I'm saying?
On Facebook
I don't want to
get
be
bent out of shape. But
I don't want to be the person like that. But my thing is this: if you're gonna come at me with that ridiculousness, it's a game to me now. Now you have become a game to me because this is some bullshit. This is a bullshit way to communicate. If you're gonna communicate with vitriol on Facebook, it's a bullshit way to communicate. Do that in person. Do it in my face. Call me. You know what I'm saying? Let's do a fucking Zoom. I bet you any money they wouldn't be saying the same thing that they'd be saying. It's different when it's in person.
I mean, for sure. I mean, especially with depending on how comfortable you are with the person. Like right now, I've known you for a long time, so I feel comfortable disagreeing with you and telling you what I think.
Right.
But
how is that self-righteous?
Which you should take as a compliment. Ultimately,
I appreciate that, but I want to know how does that make me self-righteous in what I said in terms of I think that if you're going to engage someone, do it with respect, and if you don't be fucking angry when you're met with the same ridiculousness.
I mean, I agree, but like I just don't buy what you're saying exactly coming from you. Like, and I've seen a lot of these exchanges, and I just don't buy it 100%. Like, I feel like...
What is it that you don't buy?
That they are full of vitriol, and you are somehow handling this with superior tact.
I don't think I'm saying that I'm handling it with superior tact. As a matter of fact, I lose tact in these moments.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm being extremely tactful. No, as a matter of fact, I'm being ridiculous in those moments when I realize that they're coming at me with this ridiculous energy.
Okay. I mean, fair enough on that.
I'm not being tactful at all. I'd much prefer having a respectful discussion and like batting around ideas as opposed to being put into a position of like, you're bad, you're this, you're that. It's like I left religion for a reason, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like now all of a sudden some of my liberal friends who for so long would probably be talked down about religion and religious people, and now they've kind of in some way sort of kind of become this
I will agree.
Shaming type of like dogmatic type people.
It's always been around though. You know.
Yeah, but it's like really
but with social media, you just see so much of it. And with big hot button issues like this, like a pandemic, and this is why I'm like taking the other side on this though too, is that it is to me a serious fucking thing. There are a lot of people who have fucking died from this.
Sure.
People who I know have not been able to be with their loved ones dying in the hospital while it happened.
That's fucking terrifying.
I've heard many stories of that from friends of mine, and it bothers me. And yeah, I just want to get past it. And then, yeah, on top of that, you compare things like what we're experiencing as far as numbers and all that kind of shit goes in this country with places like China, which, yes, who might have been draconian and over the line authoritarian about how they did it, but they controlled that shit, right?
Did they?
You think like they just lied and everybody is dying of COVID over there?
It's very possible, bro. This is China we're talking about, man.
See, I feel like that.
This is China we're fucking talking about.
Well, yeah,
right?
I feel like this country, we have been. I'm not gonna like stick up for China to such a degree, but I will say that we have been pumped full of anti-China propaganda in this country since we were born.
Very true. And this is not to say that we're not the evil empire.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like the ultimate evil empire.
Right.
Okay? But at the same time...
At least they're not colonialists like us, right?
But we have... what are you talking about? How about Taiwan, though?
They do a little. Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
Just not as much as us. Well, they're not as rich and powerful as we have been for a long time. So whatever, yeah.
So my point is that, you know, like they have a culture of fakery. And they, you know, it's imbued in their culture, you know? Like faking things like stealing intellectual property, stealing, faking like shoes, all kinds of stuff like that. That whole country.
Well, that's that they
like,
don't respect our laws on trademark and copyright.
You know, but I understand. But what I'm saying is that like they have a very like big culture in like stealing.
That sounds racist to me.
No, it's not.
It sounds like.
But it's not. It's fucking facts. We know it.
We have a lot of that, though. How could you say that about them as compared to us?
Wait a minute. We have these copyright laws,
We're full of
right?
shit.
We have these copyright laws, right?
Yeah.
Don't we? That sort of like restricts and keeps people's intellectual properties like tight, and then nobody else can steal it, right? So like Apple here, nobody else can just copy Apple and then sell it here. It's impossible, correct? Right?
Theoretically, yeah.
Well, I mean, not theoretically. I mean, come on, man.
There's tons of legal battles about it all the time, and the system is abused as far as rights go.
You're trying to tell me it's racist for me to tell you something that's a real thing. Like China makes a lot of fake shit.
Yes, they make knockoff stuff there because they produce all of our goods anyway.
Okay.
So they have all that stuff set up to make that shit.
Right.
And yeah, they don't respect our fucking trademark laws because to them it is bullshit, and I can see why to them in their perspective.
I get it, but my point is that what makes you think that an authoritarian government like that has an absolute grip on their people doesn't have absolute control on like the information that's coming in and out of there? You know, to me, it's like here in this country, we do have systems in place for us to get information when we want it, right? We have the Freedom of Information Act, thanks to Ralph Nader and some very other people that have fucking like set these things up. So we have systems in place that give the people the power to sooner or later, in some ways, get the truth out. I don't think China has that, bro.
I feel like that's a little bit generous with our situation. We have people who are whistleblowers who leak information here and there, and
they get assassinated.
Yeah, like
that one guy in the Porsche where they took up that journalist.
A lot of truth tellers in this country have been assassinated
for sure,
mysteriously,
for sure,
and yeah,
for sure. But in many respects, though, you can't tell me that we still have a greater hold on getting the information than a place like China, bro. I mean, to me, it's like trusting the numbers from China is like, you know.
Well, they changed.
They still are trying to jump through ridiculous hoops, trying to come up for a reason of why that shit happened.
But it's most
instead of fucking just, you know, look, they're the fucking lab, bro. Like, and not only that, like other biologists are saying that when they observe it, they're like the thing. It mutated too fast. It doesn't make sense. And then I remember Rogan had that guy Weinstein on.
Yeah, I heard him. He thinks it was maybe created in a lab or like, yeah.
And he was breaking down like the certain section. He was saying like if you break the coronavirus in sections when they map it out, he pointed out to this one section and he goes, typically when this side here looks like it's been manipulated, that means that it's been like genetically modified or manipulated during a test or whatever. So, you know, I don't know. My point is that you're trying to bring up China as like they have a handle on it.
Not just China. South Korea.
Japan. Japan's having another surge again.
They're having another surge right now.
Apparently, yeah.
I know India is terrible right now. I don't know.
They had a handle on it for a second,
Which is to me kind of amazing. Like India of all places, to me would be like one of the places I would worry about the most, right?
For a while, the one guy that Dr. Gordon was pointing out that he thinks it might be because they had a lot of turmeric in their diet, and that because the turmeric was allowing. He said if you ever took zinc, you have to take it with turmeric, curcumin, or quercetin, and he goes because those things are ionophores, and they basically allow your cells to absorb the zinc, But I mean, right now they're fucking having another surge, man.
It looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Then you look at Texas, and these motherfuckers are just. You guys see this one video I got of Austin, man? It's just they're fucking out on the streets, nut to butts.
Yeah. So whatever. I honestly don't have all the answers. I defer to more of the medical experts that I trust. I'll be like, yeah, okay, let's fucking roll with that.
And then I got a false positive test.
Right. Which, from what all I read, is extremely rare.
I don't know, man. So I got maybe 7 or so tests over the year.
Yeah.
Because every time I would come to visit my mom, I would get a test before seeing her. So this last time I was still dating my girlfriend, I would come to her place. I would stay at her place, wait 3 days after my flight. On the 3rd day, I'd get a rapid test. Rapid test would come negative. Then I would feel safe enough to go visit my mom. And even if I visit my mom, I'd still wear a mask, social distance and shit. Then this last time I went, they called me up and they said, yeah, you got positive. I was like, what? So right away, I had to cancel the dinner that we were going to have. I went and got another Airbnb and I tried to quarantine over there to see and wait. But that same day, I went and got another test, the one where they swab it and then they send it to the lab for 3 days. So it's not rapid. So those 3 days that I'm waiting for that thing to come back, bro, no symptoms. Every morning I was waking up, I was feeling good as fuck. And in my head, I'm like, if I got COVID, maybe I'm asymptomatic. Okay, maybe, possible. But I know my body well. Usually I could tell if something's in me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing. Then the test came back, nope, negative.
Well,
now it's like...
It is possible that you did have it, right? And it was just wearing off. It happened to be you were just losing it right when that happened, right?
But I got tested right, the next day, the very next day. So I got that test result. The next morning, got a test again.
Yeah.
With no symptoms. I got no symptoms, not even leading up to it. But, I mean, it is possible. But I don't know, man. It just didn't feel... It felt like it was a false positive to me because, I know myself. Like, even if I'm like... Maybe there is no symptoms. Some people that are asymptomatic. I have no fucking
that's
idea.
That's what asymptomatic means. I mean, that's what they say. There are a lot of asymptomatic people, and that's what they blame most of the spread on asymptomatic.
I read other shit too. I read other shit that said that the asymptomatic people are not spreading. So it's like, which one is it, bro?
Right.
That's why.
And talk about having a lock on information and how sometimes that's a positive thing. And this is what some of this is showing me.
What?
That we have so many fucking differing things happen. Our information is coming in. All sorts of contradictory shit is coming at us through the internet. We're hearing this, we're hearing that, we're hearing this, we're hearing that. Even Fauci wasn't perfect. I mean, he was trying to roll with it on his own, whatever. I don't know why, but he wasn't perfect. His stuff wasn't lock solid on his information either. In somewhere like China, they have one government line on what you're going to roll with. Everybody is going to follow what the government lays down. I'm not saying this is exactly how everybody should do it or anything like that. I'm just saying, over here, it has felt like a fucking mess of people saying one thing or another, people getting it all divided politically, tribally. Yeah, if you're a Republican, you're more of a anti-mask sympathetic. If you're a liberal, you got to follow the CDC guidelines as much as possible. It's, to me, I'm not like what they call a tanky. Have you heard this term?
Mm-mm. What's a tanky?
A tanky is it's on the left, online on Twitter,
Okay.
people who are, further left than liberal or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Communist sympathetic, shit like that. Marxist adjacent.
So a communist.
There's all varying degrees of that kind of shit.
Someone who leans communist.
leans communist.
A liberal in America who leans communist a little, almost.
A tanky is someone who is sympathetic to hardline communism, someone who is sympathetic to things like China and USSR and places with authoritarian leadership enforcing a stricter communist way of life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what about these tankies?
It's kind of a derogatory term for someone who is sympathetic to that.
So it's like the N-word for anyone who's like, I'm cool with communism.
Kind of.
I kind of understand where it's coming from.
Yeah, something like that. But not really. I mean, tankies are people who say China's got it right.
Okay, like you.
I say they got it right in some ways, but that's why I just said, I was just qualifying it with, I don't know if I'm a full-on tanky. I'm not going to be like China knows how to, because I got my misgivings about them too, for sure. Yeah, human rights, but human rights with us though too. So that stuff is kind of like tit for tat on human rights a little bit, but then like.
But I mean, what they're doing to the Uyghurs, man.
That looks bad, but then I've heard.
Looks bad.
But then I've heard contradictory things on that too. I've heard a lot of people say that there are a lot of Uyghurs in prison in that area, but it's actually just because that area in China has a lot of Uyghur population, and even if you compare it to our jail system, it's dwarfed by our prison system. So it's kind of like
I was hearing that they were actually being like
1 million Uyghurs in prison or something like that.
They're
but if you think 1 billion people in the country, and if you look at it proportionally, I don't know. This is all shit I've heard, so I don't fucking know, and I'm not defending one side or the other on that at all. But
fuck, dude, because what I've been reading and hearing is like there's like a genocide. They're fucking like offing them.
I hear that from some people too. I have no idea what's actually true.
I mean, like there's like that. There's some people who like what is it? Josh Rogan was the guy one of the guys that broke the story recently, and he had he interviewed these fucking people, and they told him everything that happened inside those fucking camps and how they had to escape. One of them was a girl that was an American, so she was an American, and then she had to do her homework from China. She was visiting family in China. She was going to Washington State. She had to turn on her computer, right? And because the way their networks work, for her to log on to her college website, she had to use a VPN. She activated the VPN. They showed up at her fucking door, the Chinese government, and they took her away. And then she ended up in one of those fucking Uyghur camps. And she was there for 2 fucking years. And it fucked up her entire, everything. She lost her job. She lost her apartment. She lost her whatever, her credits for her college.
Right.
And then she finally had to come back. And then, they interviewed her, and she was, giving stories about some terrible fucking shit that's going on over there. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm just saying.
To me, the idea of, having the idea of, maybe China did it right because they're able to, control people the most, that's scary. I'd rather deal with the ramifications of what comes from having freedom. That's where I'm that's where I started becoming conservative in that I really do believe that we need to just be more free. We need to be more open in certain areas.
But that would work better if everybody just naturally did their part.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, man. That's the problem with freedom, and then especially in a country that's made up of people of so many different races and creeds, and we can't be homogenized like Japan. Like Japan, they're all the same people. You know what I mean? They are all Japanese. You know what I mean? They're practically the same people. China, maybe not. There's so many different races of Chinese people, right? Chinese is actually a nationality, not an ethnicity.
It's a giant country, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they have so many different races that make Chinese people, but then
different ethnicities.
But they're still kind of, have a culture of following authority. That's why they're run like that, man. They have that in their culture. We don't have that, man. That's not our culture.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing, though.
Which means that we're supposed to take more individual responsibility. I think that's where I start.
Individual responsibility towards the collective, though. The collective greater good. Like, that's
See,
the thing that fucking bothers me.
the collective
this
good
individualism gone rampant and just looking out for yourself shit. We're not going to survive like that.
Well, they're doing all right in these other these red states, man. These red states are wide open, dude. Arizona, wide the fuck open. I'm doing shows over there, no problems. Doesn't seem like anybody's having any fucking problems. Nobody's scared. Nobody's terrified. Everyone's out working out at gyms. They're still wearing masks, though. You know, they're still doing protocol. They're still social distancing. They're keeping certain capacities down at certain things. But nightclubs, some of these nightclubs, they don't even fucking give a shit. So it's like, I don't know, man. This whole collective good thing. But then you go to these places that are red states where they don't believe in collective good. They believe in individualism, and they're thriving. Their businesses are thriving. Their people are living life like there's no problem. And then in liberal states, people are scared, terrified, wearing masks outdoors under the sun when the data already tells you that it can barely survive in UV light. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of like really taken back by looking at how liberals have just been very scared, especially in California. It's just like everyone's shaking in their boots. And then you go to like Austin, chilling, living their lives, enjoying life, dealing with it. I don't know. Which one's better, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, ultimately,
to me, I think living is better. Well, I think what they're doing is way better.
Still fucking living, you know. It's not like I'm fucking quaking, you know, like hiding and shivering. I go to the fucking park all the fucking time with my kids.
No, I know you're doing that, but what I'm saying is if you were someone who wanted to enjoy nightlife, go out to a bar, go out to a comedy club, if you wanted to mingle with a group of people, go to a restaurant, you can't do that here. If you do, there's all kinds of restrictions and, we got to close up at 11 and, you know, all these, like, a lot of these laws that don't make sense. They're just they're just making laws to make laws. The fact is, like, I'm starting to turn into a fucking, like, more conservative, seeing the way liberals are just retarded in their own right. Like right now, Joe Biden is getting rid of the 1031 exchange. He's going to fuck up the entire real estate market. Democrats and liberals, they do not understand money. The 1031 exchange, if anybody knows what it is it's a way to avoid capital gains tax. Let's say you bought a house for $50,000, okay? 5 years down the road, it's now $100,000. That $50,000 increase that you made, the government's going to charge you 10% or 15% capital gains on that $50,000 that you made. Mm-hmm. If you do a 1031 exchange, you can take that, move it over to another asset, and they don't charge you.
It's a loophole.
And it's not a loophole. It's a big plus. Capital gains tax is bullshit. You know what capital gains tax does? It blows up Yemeni people. Congratulations. That's all it's there for. It's there to blow up Arabs.
I mean, that's the fucked up part.
And fund a military. So we don't even need capital gains tax. So if you give me an opportunity to avoid buying that one screw that blows up my family, I'm all for it. Okay? And it helps guys like me, smaller time investors, because now I can roll that money over. He's going to get rid of it. And you know what?
The only reason I can't argue against that is because of the fucking blowing up Yemeni people. If we fucking put our taxes to better use, man.
But we don't.
I would be all about fucking high taxes.
But we don't. And that's why investors go out of their way.
Foreign policy is
That's why investors go out of their way to not pay taxes. Why? Why even participate in that? Why pay capital gains tax when you can just take that money and roll it over to another investment? Now, here's the thing that people don't understand, bro. Okay? He's now making it to where if you make more than $500,000 of an increase, you can't do a 1031 exchange. Now, a liberal person would look at that and be like, well, yeah, fuck those rich people. They've already made that much money. If you made a $500,000 increase, right, that's a lot of money. None of my assets have made that much. So it's not going to affect me, right? You think what it's going to affect are those big time investors. And you know what it's going to fucking do? Those big time investors are going to realize, well, I no longer want to put my money in larger assets that are going to increase in that much price. So now what are they going to do? They're going to stop buying bigger buildings. And now they're going to put their money into single family homes. And what's going to happen? They're going to put their money into single family homes. And now when it's time for you to buy a home, you're fucked because they're now gobbling up all the assets.
So we better be nice to those guys because they're going to be predatory to us if we don't. That's basically what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is the government needs to get the fuck out of the way and stop making stupid laws that change the ecosystem of investing that fucks the little guy.
That doesn't sound like it's really fucking the little guy, and it sounds like you're actually falling for like something that's like totally a fucking conservative, like, well, look, here's the problem. But they're going to take over all the single family homes, and then that's when the little guy's going to get hurt.
That's what they're going to end up doing that. Okay.
They'll end up fucking us any way they can, and they already do.
Bro,
they get their money.
The only thing that thing's going to fuck is people who are low-time people, investors like you and me. If we ever try to invest in something, it's going to fuck up us. So somebody who's a first-time home buyer, let's say somebody's a first-time home buyer. They want to buy a home. Inventory is low all of a sudden. Why? Because now a lot of those people that were investing in bigger buildings and using 1031 exchanges to move on to other bigger assets, now they're going to be like, those assets are not good because I'm going to get taxed so much. I might as well pull my money out of these and start buying single family homes. Right now, there's a shortage of inventory in Detroit, like a legit shortage of inventory. You try to look for a home right now, it's next to fucking impossible. The increase in price has gone up so much. And a lot of it is because a lot of investors have purchased properties over the years and they're not letting go of it. And it's fucking a lot of people who want to buy a home. Now this 1031 exchange is going to take that and put it on steroids. So my point is that the government will try to come in with some type of law. You think it's going to do some good. It just opens the door and fucks other people and typically the lower investors. So on paper, it makes someone like you go, yeah, good. We're taxing those richer people. But and they're just going to figure a way around it. And then it's just going to fuck over other people. It just changes the entire ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? It's like taking a my
ecosystem. Like this is some fucking natural terrarium. If we upset the balance of it, it's already fucked up. This is a fucked up terrarium we already live in, bro. We're in a terrarium.
But you know, a lot of the
full
fucked
of
up
fucking sharks.
But a lot of the thing that's fucked up is the government comes in, makes some type of law. Then all it does is
terrarium full of sharks. Like an aquarium full of sharks. I need to go to bed. This is
getting
my brain is starting to misfire. I said a terrarium full of sharks.
But seriously, here in the end, my point is that like right now the government is fucking doing all kinds of fucking bullshit, and especially right now, it's just like it's disheartening for me as a liberal to like now really see how goofy we are. Like I had no idea up until just recently, and then it just gets goofier. You know,
we've got a lot of people out there also trying to slant the information towards that conservative way, like a Ben Shapiro and a Tucker Carlson and whatever. They are absolute slave masters for the fucking moneyed interests. Mm-hmm. And they are spinning the story to make it sound like kind of like what I feel like what you were just telling me there with the 1030. I don't know that much about that shit, so I'm not going to say what you're saying is that exactly.
All it is a way to avoid paying capital gains tax.
Right.
And then if you basically make it harder to avoid paying capital gains
for over a $500,000 gain
on bigger assets, you're going to get those people with bigger money to move away from that market into the market that someone like me is in.
See, that's the...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds like a total spin job.
I don't think so, man. Because it does make sense. Especially you see a lot of Chinese investors came in and gobbled up a lot of property in Detroit, man. I'm talking about like swaths of property.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
Of course. But my point is that like this is just going to even make it even more. Because now in the investor world, single family homes is going to be very valuable. Because it's not going to be subjected to that entire tax fucking shelter. Yeah.
Let's just call it. I can't think about it anymore.
My boy Sean, too fucking liberal for the 1031 exchange discussion. Because to me, it's like when I do talk about that, man, people just be like, what? But rich people. It's like, yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like what you're saying to me just sounds like something Ben Shapiro would sell somebody. Basically selling them on the idea that you can't, but the problem there is you're not thinking it through. And the fact that if you make it impossible for them to get away without paying these taxes.
So tell me this, why is it good to charge capital gains tax on top of all the other taxes that they're fucking throwing on us?
Why is it good to charge any tax?
Well, it would be good if we were actually using it.
Yeah, that's where we can agree.
The majority of our tax dollars are going to war.
Defense. It's really fucked up, and I'm totally on the same page
Like
with
if
you
we
on that.
stop that, imagine we'd have so much money for everything. Everything.
Right.
We would have everything for ourselves.
Yeah.
All the healthcare, all the education.
Stop being brutal colonialists.
That's what I'm saying.
And
so
help people.
So the person that's avoiding paying those taxes is helping to fucking avoid that machine. You're pumping less money into that machine if you're avoiding those fucking taxes. Capital gains tax doesn't go to shit but fucking whatever. None of it's going to education. None of it's going to fix people's fucking health problems. Somebody gets fucking cancer in this country.
Yeah.
We should just be paying for this shit.
I mean, honestly.
You know?
But yeah, you're making me sad. Let's go.
All right, guys. This is the latest podcast I've ever fucking did in my entire life. This is the longest fucking podcast I think we've ever fucking did. I think we probably did 4.5 fucking hours, bro.
Jesus.
This is a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. This was very interesting, very, very deep. Took a really, really long time. And it was really good to see my boy Sean, man. I love you, bro.
Love you too, buddy.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care of yourselves. Take your vitamins. Wear your mask. And I'll see you guys.
Public Yemeni #1.